Hi, ninth graders, or should I say soon to be 10th graders, your school counseling team here. It's the time of year where we start to talk about and think about registering for classes for next year. So these next 3 days in CCR, we're going to kind of walk you guys through the registration process, how to look for your classes, think about what classes you might want to take, laying out future plans, and then actually registering for your classes for next year. So first things first, we're going to show you how to find the registration guide here. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Let's see, we'll make sure I'm sharing. And you're going to go to northfieldschools.org. That's our website. And you're going to find the high school. So under schools, you'll scroll down and click the high school. From there, on this left side here, you'll find the student support tab and click that. You scroll down from the student support tab, you'll see our counseling office information. You can email your counselors by clicking on their name there. And you can see your corresponding counselor depending on the letter of your last name. We continue to scroll down, you'll see course registration and planning for 22 and 23. We're going to click that. And then we're going to click course registration guide for the new year, 22-23. So if I click that, this nice PDF opens up and it'll bring me to the registration guide. Try to zoom that in for you guys a little bit here. And as you see, as you start to look through the registration guide, it starts off with this nice table of contents that takes you through all of the areas of learning. So that starts out with the required graduation, courses required for graduation. So your core classes, then goes into your world languages, and then it's broken down by areas of interest. So your elective pieces. As you can see there. On this page here, it's our school profile. And the school profile, it's interesting, will actually get sent to the colleges that you apply to, and it gives them information about our school. So when you think in the future about potentially applying to colleges, this will get sent off to the colleges you apply to. It explains a bit about Northfield as a town, a bit about our faculty, the curriculum that we offer, the honors and advanced classes that we offer. And I think one of the cooler things within our profile is it highlights the post-secondary plans of the previous graduating class. So it breaks down if they ended up going to a 4- or 2-year college, entering the military, entering the workforce, or doing something else. And then it breaks down who went where. So how many students went to a specific college. One of the more important things to highlight from this first section of the guide here are your graduation requirements. So in order to graduate from Northfield High School, and you guys are probably aware of this, we talked about it in CCR, you need 23 credits to graduate from Northfield High School. Of those 23, 7 of them will be elective credits that you choose, and 16 of them will be broken down from these required areas of learning. So 4 English credits, 3.5 credits of social studies, at least 3 credits of math, at least 3 credits of science, a full Phi-Ed credit, a semester of health, and 1 full art credit. It's important to think about that these are only the requirements for graduating from Northfield High School. If you have specific hopes and dreams of going to a 4-year college, these might differ depending on the college you're applying to. But I'll let my colleague, Ms. Rasmussen, get into that a little more as we start talking about the future here. I'll stop sharing my screen and give it over to her.
Gosh, thank you, Mr. Turnquist. Hello, ninth graders. Yes, I'm going to share my screen. And let's see, here we go. The next pages of this guide, this is such a helpful guide. I encourage all of you to take a look at this as you're choosing your classes. Because these pages here talk about requirements that you might need for plans that you have after high school. So as you just heard, there are certain courses you need to take to graduate and get your diploma here. But depending on what you're wanting to do after high school, you might need some other courses or classes. So you didn't hear world language as being a requirement for high school graduation. There's nowhere here that shows world language. However, many four-year colleges or universities would require a minimum of 2 credits of a world language. So these are things I would love to have you think about as you're choosing your classes. And it would be wonderful to make more of a long-term plan. What are you planning to take 10th grade, but also 11th and 12th grade? So looking at long-term planning would be really helpful right now. If you're looking at the military, there is an intense physical examination required. So what courses would help prepare you for that? Things like that are on this page, and also your counselor can help you with this. Your counselors are available for you, and we can help make sure you have the requirements you need to meet your high school graduation and also keep doors open for after high school. Naviance, you know about your Naviance account. That's also a good place for you to look and do some exploration on what colleges or careers would require. So this is something that I'd love to have you think about now. It's not too early. The NCAA Clearinghouse. This is for student athletes considering playing at a Division I or Division II level. There are certain requirements that the NCAA would have students fulfill, and they're listed here. Again, you can talk to your counselor at any time about any of this. The next page is academic supports. Northfield High School offers so many supports to help you be successful in your classes, and you can talk with your counselor if you should want or need to access any of those. This page talks about dual credit opportunities. Again, for your long-term planning, it's important that you just get an introduction and just know that this is available to you down the road. There are multiple ways that you could potentially earn college credit and high school credit at the same time. We have advanced placement courses, and a couple of those are available to you as early as next year. The AP US History and the AP Biology. We have some courses that are offered down the road for you here at the high school, coming through a university that are taught here by a high school teacher that you could earn both college and high school credit. Senior Honors Program is offered by St. Olaf and Carleton. There's an application, and if you're accepted, you could take a class per semester at one of those colleges. A very popular opportunity that students access is post-secondary enrollment option. This is where students potentially take a class at a state or university, state college or university in Minnesota, and earn both college and high school credit at the same time. More information will be coming, and this would be again for your long-term planning. This is available to you more in 11th and 12th grade. So Mr. Ensrud is going to talk about the courses that are available for you here at the high school.
Thanks, Ms. Rasmussen. Yep, this is Mr. Ensrud. Good to see everybody today as far as getting ready for signing up for classes for next year. And I'm going to spend a little time talking about where to learn more about your class options, because some of those are a little more set as far as classes that everybody needs to take. And some of them have a little more flexibility around what you'd like to choose that might fit with some of those future plans that Ms. Rasmussen was just talking about. So the next section of the registration guide really focuses on those required courses for graduation in the areas of arts, English, math, phy ed, health, science, and social studies. And it goes one area at a time. If you're curious what counts towards the arts requirement, that's going to be on page 14 of the guide, and you can see a list there. And after that, it goes one department at a time. And you'll see that it includes some really detailed information about each and every class we offer at Northfield High School. This is where maybe we go away from reading page by page every single course description of every single class. And you might want to try a little different approach to gather some ideas. Within the packet that Ms. LaGrosse is going to talk about that you'll be seeing both today, tomorrow, and the next day, there's a course listing where you can kind of do a quick look at all the menu of options that we offer. And they're organized by department. And the reason we want you to kind of use this list is it includes course numbers on the left. And you'll see when Ms. LaGrosse talks why that will become important in your request process. So other information, name of courses, how much credit each is worth, so you can tell if it's a 1 semester course or a full year course, and then what grade levels can take those courses. I like to start with the Phy-Ed section with current 9th graders because a lot of you took the Foundations of Phy-Ed this year at class 1140, and now you might be considering doing your other half of your Phy-Ed requirement sometime in the next 3 years. And you can see the other courses that students in grades 10 through 12 are eligible to take. So that's one example. And as I keep scrolling through, you'll be able to see all the different courses that are out there, kind of in an at a glance mode, in a way where you might go through and make some notes about things to consider for next year and maybe beyond. Maybe you start mapping things out a little bit beyond that. And Ms. LaGrosse will talk about that as well. So as you're scrolling through, you might hit a section where, okay, there's some classes that I can't quite decide between, or I want to know the difference between some things in a certain department. And that can happen, especially in our electives. So that might lead you right back into the registration guide where, I know I have to take certain classes in required areas like science. 10th graders, you're going to take bio or advanced placement bio. So you might just want to see the difference. But now I'm starting to think, boy, I did my art foundations class this year. I think I want to do another art class next year, but there's a ton of them listed. I got to see the details about each of them. This is the place to go. Go back into that registration guide, get into the area of interest where those courses are found, and then really dig in and see what they're all about. We think this lets you learn a lot more accurately what classes are going to be all about. We know sometimes students rely on word of mouth, or they talk to others and say, hey, who's teaching that class? The reality is we don't know who's going to teach which class in advance. That doesn't get decided until after the whole schedule is made. So use this guide to really see what classes are going to be all about and make those decisions that are best for you as an individual, not necessarily what everybody else might be doing. Okay, because it all goes back to that kind of master plan that you're making for your future. So with all that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Ms. LaGrosse, who's going to talk a little bit about how do you actually go in and do this stuff and get ready to go.
Good morning, soon to be 10th graders. So now we get to the fun part, how to actually sign up for your classes. I'm going to share my screen as well. Okay, so before we get to registering for classes, the first thing you'll want to do is take a look at this course planning chart. So Mr. Turnquist already went over graduation requirements. Now we're going to go down to the grade 10 grid, and have a look at your required 10th grade classes. So you'll be signing up for a full year of English, and that's American Lit for 10th graders. And for some of you, it'll be Advanced American Lit. So you're also going to be signing up for a year of biology, a year of math, and your math placement, once again, will depend on what math class you're taking now and conversations with your math teacher. You'll be taking a semester of health and a semester of American history. Now, as you can see, there's plenty left down here. So slots 5 and 6 will be filled in by electives. Remember, you're required to sign up for 6 classes per semester. So that could be 6 classes plus a study hall, or if you'd like, you can sign up for 7 classes per semester. When you sign up for classes, if you would like a study hall, just sign up for 6 credits and the study hall will be filled in for you later on. Okay, so now let's move to Skyward and sign up for classes. So when you log into Skyward during registration, you will want to log into the desktop version. If you log into the app version, this will not work. So log into the desktop version. So sign into your Skyward account and then look on the left side. Go down to where it says schedule. Click on schedule. and then look for the big blue link at the top that says request courses for 2022, 2023. Click on that. Now, earlier, Mr. Ensrud mentioned the course list. So you're going to use the course list Mr. Ensrud showed you to find the course codes for classes that you'd like to sign up for. And Mr. Turnquist also went through the registration guide with you. So if you're interested in an elective and you'd like to know more about it, you can consult the registration guide for course descriptions. So you have both of those two things at your disposal. Okay, so let's say I want to sign up for a PE class. I'm just going to enter the first two numbers for our PE classes. Search. So all of the PE classes that are available to me just came up. I'm going to take Walking for Wellness. So you'll click on the class and then you'll click on Add Course. And this will bring the class over to this box, Selected Courses. So you will keep on doing that until this total credits count at the top says either 6, 6.5, or 7, depending on whether you plan to take 7 classes per semester or if you'd like a study hall. Now let's say I add a class and then I change my mind. So I added strength and conditioning. No, I don't want to say strength and conditioning. So I'm going to click on the class and then click remove courses. And now it's gone. So then once you register for 6 credits, you're going to go over to request alternates. And this is very important because if for some reason one of the classes you requested doesn't fit into your schedule or is not available, we're going to select from the alternate list as we're adding classes to as we're adjusting schedules this summer to get you up to 6 credits. If you do not request alternates, then your counselors have to try and guess where to put you. And what we select for you may not be what you would have liked to take. So make sure you're requesting your alternates. Make sure you request 3 alternates. Okay, so I'm going to add lifeguarding as an alternate. And as you can see, there's also a total alternates count here. Right now I've requested 1 alternate. You want this number to say 3. So once you have finished registering for all of the classes you'd like to take next year, you just click the big red X on the right and your classes are automatically saved. If you have any questions or concerns, we'll be out in the hallway next week. When you're registering for classes, you can walk out and talk to one of us, or you can send us an email to set up an appointment. All right, happy registration.
That's right. Well, quick follow up on one thing Ms. LaGrosse shared. Just so you guys are aware, this whole process is how we make our schedule for the whole school. So it's really important that you guys kind of pay good attention and make good decisions on this front end, because making schedule changes when we come back to school in the fall really doesn't work because the whole schedule is set based on what everybody initially requests. So you'll see this info that your CCR teachers provide, that there's a little info on our schedule change policy. So pay attention to that. Other item that I noticed as Ms. LaGrosse was showing you guys how to make those selections, I saw summer fitness online show up on the list. It's not going to be offered next year. That's not actually one of our courses we'll be offering. So please don't look for that one because you won't be able to find it when this does go live. And speaking of going live, obviously we're recording this in advance. We will be out in the hallways tomorrow on Wednesday to help you guys if you need to during CCR. But certainly reach out to your counselor anytime. We're happy to help. Have a great day and funnel some of those questions right at your CCR teacher before you leave today.